ever stopped and wondered if the life you're living is the life you actually want? Not the life you've worked hard to build, not the life that looks good on paper, the life you want. In this episode, we're unpacking the truth about desire, how it gets shaped by your environment, your upbringing, your survival patterns, and how to start peeling back those layers so that you can reconnect with what's actually yours. We'll explore the 3 reasons so many women feel disconnected from their wants and how logical life paths often override our inner compass. And I'll guide you through a simple but powerful prompt to bring you back into contact with your real desires. Desire isn't as simple as it sounds. You think it would be. You want what you want, right? End of story. But for many high-functioning, capable women, especially those who've built their lives on achievement, reliability and responsibility, desire gets a little complicated. You start to realize that what you thought you wanted maybe wasn't yours to begin with. Maybe it was inherited from family. Maybe it was shaped by school, religion, by the media, or by who you had to become to be accepted, respected, or loved. And somewhere along the way, you stopped asking what you want and started asking what next. One of my clients told me she realized one day that she had never actually made a big life decision from a place of want. She simply followed what looked like the next smart step. School, university, law school, a stable job, promotions, marriage, children, the 5-year plan, the retirement savings. She had a good life by every external measure, but inside she felt dull, like she'd been ticking off a checklist that someone else had written. And that's more common than you realize, because desire isn't just personal, it's cultural, it's social, it's deeply shaped by our early experiences and unconscious programming. So here are 3 reasons why you might feel disconnected from what you want. 1, you learned early on that your wants were inconvenient. If you grew up in an environment where emotional expression was discouraged, where you had to be the easy one, the mature one, the helper, or the achiever, you probably internalized that wanting too much made you a burden. So you adapted. You learned to want what made other people comfortable. You praised yourself for being low maintenance, or maybe you were praised for being low maintenance. You were celebrated for being capable. And slowly you lost contact with a part of you that had wild, inconvenient, beautiful wants. I remember my mum used to call me Angela Want as a child. That was my nickname. Number 2, you've been rewarded for self-abandonment. Sometimes this one's hard to spot, but think about it. How many times in your life have you been praised for being the reliable one, the team player, the person who can handle it? And how often has someone celebrated you for simply doing what felt right to you, regardless of how it impacted others? For being selfish, as many people would see it. Many of us have been trained to prioritize harmony over honesty, to compromise before we even ask ourselves what we want, to calculate how our choices will affect everyone else before checking in with our truth. Number 3, you've confused success with satisfaction. Success feels good, right? Until it doesn't. You get the title, the house, the relationship, you do all the right things, but something still feels off. That's because external success only satisfies you if it's aligned with your internal truth. And if it's not, the disconnect builds quietly. You find yourself irritated more often, you procrastinate, you fantasize about quitting everything and starting over. Not because you're ungrateful, but because deep down you know you've built a life around shoulds, not wants. And here's the cost of ignoring your desires. It's not just disappointment, it's disconnection. Disconnection from yourself, from your energy, from your purpose. Desire is a life force, and when you stay close to it, you feel alive. You feel curious, you feel expansive. But when you suppress it, you start to shrink. Your world becomes narrower. You get through the day, but you're not lit up by it. You're just plodding on. You feel flat, numb, apathetic, and it shows up in subtle ways. Scrolling endlessly, filling your calendar, numbing out in unhealthy ways, feeling restless for no obvious reason. So, how do you come back to what you want? Well, first you accept desire isn't always tidy. It might not align with what other people expect of you. It might require change. It might make other people uncomfortable. And that realization makes a lot of people stay stuck, and they don't want to move on. But once you realize that those are the consequences, then the next step is to reconnect with desire gently, not by forcing yourself to figure out your 5-year big plan, but start small. And here's a prompt I often use with my clients. If I were only allowed to do things that bring me real joy, what would I want more of? Take a moment to sit with that question and write what comes. Not what looks good, not what sounds wise. Just write what feels good to you. Just free script. Here's some of my examples to get you started. Mornings without an alarm. Time alone in silence. Small walks with no destination, nowhere to go. Movement that feels like play. More honest conversation. More colour in my wardrobe. More music in my background. More books that don't teach me anything. These things that bubble up, these are the breadcrumbs that lead you back to you. Desire mapping is about noticing what pulls you, what lights you up, what excites you. It's about rebuilding a relationship with your inner voice, one that you probably silenced for so many years, so she needs to feel safe again to be heard. And if that feels scary, you're not alone, because we're taught that wanting is selfish. Craving more means you're ungrateful. But here's what I've learned. You can be grateful and want more. You can love your life and want it to evolve further. You can honor others and honor yourself. Those things aren't mutually exclusive, and you're entitled to want things. You are as entitled as the next person. So this week, give yourself permission to want. Set a timer for 10 minutes and answer that question. If I were only allowed to do the things that bring me joy, real joy, what would I want more of? And if you want to go deeper, this is exactly the kind of work that we do inside the Purposeful Path. We don't just set goals to feel productive. We unlearn what was never ours and reclaim our own desires. And you'll find the link to the course in the description below if that sounds of interest to you. And if this video gave you something to think about, it would mean so much if you would hit subscribe and the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for being here, and I will see you next time.